Hello everybody, my name's Backslash, and what you're seeing right now is the largest redstone contraption I have ever made. This build consists of over 21 million blocks and took over a month to construct. And believe it or not, this is my first attempt at creating a large-scale computational project, and I am very happy with how it turned out. This is Minesweeper in Minecraft. But how did I get here? For those of you who don't know me, I'm a technical player who primarily spends their time designing farms that cause way too much lag. It all started a couple months ago with this dinky display that I built. Little did I know that this would spark into a giant project. Soon I started building larger displays with animations, like this copper golem, and after watching Matt Batwing's Logical Redstone Reloaded series, I knew I was hooked. I picked Minesweeper because I wanted to make a gift for my girlfriend, because she's loved this game ever since she was a child. She's very good at the game. Here's a little clip of her playing.
It looks like you got a zero spread.
You have on the brain.
What?
Well, I guess that didn't really show much. Anyways, here are some features of the Minesweeper game itself. We have wireless selection based on eye tracker. We have flagging and unflagging. We have selection and opening, zero spreading, a loss condition that opens all cells when you lose and displays a message, and a win condition, which I've never personally seen myself, but my girlfriend sure did gloat about it when she got it. Now, ever since I completed this project, I've got countless requests to share a world download. And the only problem I had with that is that this is a personal gift that I made for somebody that I love. I wouldn't feel comfortable about giving such a nice gift to somebody. So I decided that if I'm going to provide a world download, I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult. Now, at first glance, my version of the game doesn't seem that difficult. It seems pretty easy to make it more. But the problem lies in how many mines that I put on this board. You see, my board is only 12 by 12 because of the size constraints that I was limited to. But to compensate for that, I put 38 mines on it. To put into perspective, the intermediate mode of the game is a 16 by 16 board and it has 40 mines. When you consider how many more squares the intermediate mode has in the comparable amount of mines, it becomes very evident how difficult this version is. In modern versions of the game, your first open will never be a mine and it will always be a zero spread. But I did not program that into here. It was not really to make it intentionally difficult, it was just because I was lazy and that would take too much time to do. But either way, it makes it significantly more challenging because your first open could be a mine or your first open could be an 8, which adds insult to injury, I would say. But there is one area where this version is lacking, and that's a consequence. We don't have any real world consequences, and I want to change that. What if we made it so if you lose the game, your PC crashes? So for starters, we're going to take this little floor design here, and we're going to select that and this. And I don't know, set TNT. And okay, it says complete. Might take a second to load in because it does say that's a lot of TNT. Yeah, that's... Oh my fucking god. And I believe the yellow wire is our loss condition. So let's just, is that a straight shot down? Oh, perfect. We'll set this on max delay. And just have one bit of redstone dust pointing in. Yeah, just actually, I could probably do more delay if I... There we go. And pretty much we lose. It's just going to drop one piece of TNT all the way down to the floor, which is conveniently made of more TNT. I feel like now that we have this TNT floor, the looks are a little off. We need to, symbolize some more danger. So I think I need to do something around here. There we go. But I still feel like we have all this pink stuff here, and we need something to tie these two together. Ah, much better. I'd definitely say this brings it all together, but we still need to do a few more things. Now at this point you might be wondering how this all works, and I'm not going to go through a very detailed explanation of the exact mechanics behind it, but I will give you a general synopsis of how it works. But first, let me go over some credits, because there are some circuits that I used here that I would have not been able to come up with myself. So to transfer the signals, I'm actually using instant redstone lines made by Kayexen. I believe that's his name, and I probably pronounced it wrong, and I apologize for that. But these are very redundant instant redstone lines that transfer all the way here. Unfortunately, for these lines, I couldn't do the same just because of constraints with sizes. So that's why when you're running this, you have to run it on tick sprint. Not that you have to, but it definitely improves the process. As far as the wind charge redirector here, which is the reason why I can track my eye position, this was originally pioneered by Squibble, and Matt Batwings recently made a video on it himself, and he's been using this technique for a while. I don't believe he came up with using it for displays, but this is where I got the inspiration for using it in a video. Pretty much the mechanics behind it is wind charges in gassed balls, every time they're hit by a player, they go in the direction that the player is looking. But an arrow fired by the player still has the properties of a player, so everywhere I look from this arrow that I fired, the breeze charge will go in that direction. And then we just have target blocks here. If we come back to the real meat and potatoes over here, I can show you kind of loosely how this is wired. A lot of this right here is just hard-coded numbers, and these circuits were mainly taken from Matt Batwing's Logical Redstone Reloaded series. As far as this mess, this is all my own, which you can definitely see a difference between the wiring. So what we have here is our redstone circuit for determining the mines. We have a triple pulse that triggers this dropper, and it randomly selects 3 items that represent each square in a row, and it will pretty much randomly select the mines and determine where they go. This is all binary encoded, and the same goes for the wind charge selector. This is all binary encoded, and it runs through here. As far as the selectors go, you need to have an AND gate here, because if I select it and it opens just by looking at it, that's a problem. I need to give a second input to say that I'm going to open it or I'm going to flag it. So what we have down here is we have a bunch of AND gates saying that if it is selected and the open signal is sent, then it sends an open or it sends a flag, depending on the corresponding item you use. Everything here is pretty much just a series of AND gates and looping, just to make everything simple. It's done in a very janky way, and there's a lot of jank here. I won't lie about that. As far as the numbers themselves, each hard-coded number is assigned a signal strength. And I did reverse order, so there is 9 of these, and 0 is assigned the signal strength of 9. That way I can send by default a signal strength of 9, and every time there is a mine in the area, we subtract 1 from that. So if it's 0 and then there's 1 mine next to it, it's going to make it to a 1 because the signal strength will drop to 8. Now, I know that's a little bit confusing, but I promise I'm just bad at explaining. It's not that terrible. For the win condition, pretty much what we had is we had a redstone line linked to a negation. So if this redstone line is open or on, it doesn't power this redstone torch. And that's pretty much just measuring the win condition if A, you lost, or B, if there's still cells open. And it just links to this hard-coded you lose, you win circuit. So I honestly think that this is very messy, but for my first try, it's relatively compact. I know that's kind of crazy to say for something this large. Uh, each one of these cells is tileable. The squares are all their own thing that I designed individually, and then I tiled them up. And there's definitely a lot going on. I will in the future maybe try to do another version of this, but for now, I'm actually relatively happy with how this turned out. I don't think I've seen anybody do a vertical Minesweeper game, and I think that's mainly due to the fact that the eye tracker technology was not really pioneered in technical and logical redstone. But yeah, no, that's pretty much how it works. And thank you to anybody who actually stuck through that explanation and did not immediately skip the video. Uh, Appreciate you. But without any further ado, let's play this and probably lose. So let me give you guys a little guide on how to start it, because I will be including a world download if any one of you psychos wants to actually use this. So you first got to come here, and you need to make sure that this note block is turned off, meaning that there's no light here. If the light is lit up, you need to first turn it off, and that will make sure that this slime block is down. Then you just need to fire an arrow here, hit the note block, and it should start up again. You want to verify before you go to the platform that it's hitting every single wind charge. Sometimes it will get a little desynced and it will be hitting the tops of the wind charge, which will cause the indicator to blink. If that happens, all you need to do is just reset it by hitting it twice. If that doesn't work, you can just fully stop it and make sure that the light's off before turning it on again. I know that's a little complicated, but it's not too bad, trust me. So then what we're going to do is we're going to tick sprint it slash tick sprint. I usually do 7 days. That's usually enough. This will also make it even more dangerous with your PC because the TNT will be happening twice as long or twice as fast. So then I'm just going to go to spectator, come over to the platform. And once I get over to the platform, I can just sit between the barrel and the concrete block. I also included all the items you need here. Besides from the bow, I'll leave that in there. And you can just look to select, and crossing my fingers that this is not a mine straight off the bat. That is an open signal. And then this is the flag. So flag, flag, still kind of a a shitty situation, especially when the stakes are this high. So see right there it got desynced, but it doesn't matter because shit. I don't think any did it not work? Well, we did lose, and the TNT did get dropped. Oh, I think what happened actually. This is a good lesson, I guess. So the TNT, it exploded before it hit the ground, I think. Let me just fall with this and see where it explodes. Oh, it did explode the circuit. It exploded right about here. Okay, so I need to reload my world backup and start again from there. Okay, so I fixed it. So instead of dropping TNT all the way down, we're just going to have this instant wall redstone line go all the way down to the bottom, and there'll be an observer picking it up. That will ignite the TNT. So hopefully, with any luck, maybe hopefully not, it works this time. But that's not going to happen. I'm going to win. And again, there is a significant chance that this will go off first try. There's a significant chance there will be a mine right here. And it takes shit. Did it work? I don't even think it worked. I'm not lagging. Oh, Okay, my PC is a little slower than it usually is. So I'm honestly pretty impressed with how my PC ran that. So I'm gonna have to up the ante. We have 20 layers, and it is well, this long. It goes on for a while, so I don't think even if your PC can handle this, you won't be running a steady frame rate anytime soon. And now the build is starting to get into render. They're all just a solid 20 layers of this. This took forever to actually paste in because I had to do it in chunks because I tried doing it all in one and it crashed my PC doing it. Well, it crashed the game, not my PC. But yeah, I think that's going to put a significant more dent in my computing power. So I'll see how that turns out. Okay, so we've made some additional tweaks. I put 2 ender pearl stasis chambers just to chunk load the area. Hopefully this reduces the desyncing. And I also didn't really like the fact that we were gambling on your first open. So I made it so that the first corner up here is a guaranteed 0 spread. So if I just do tick sprint, no matter what happens, this is going to be a guaranteed 0 spread. And also additionally, sometimes you need to fly closer to it when you're resetting the machine. I think it just has to do with how the bulbs render. But as you see, we get a 0 spread here. So that I made this so you weren't going to fail first try. You would actually have, a way to play the game without fully exploding everything. Which this is risky that I'm playing it right now because I have not done a world backup yet. So I'm going to do that and then I'm going to play the game one more time and hopefully be able to get a win. Okay, this is trial 2, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so this is another thing that you can do. Say I don't like this because there is a chance that I could still fuck myself over here. So I'm just going to reset it till I get a starting that I like. And you can cycle this over and over again. There's no actual punishment for it, so I still don't really like this either. I know that this is most likely a clear square, but there's a chance that it's not. So I can, again, there's no punishment to doing this other than the screen taking a little bit longer to reset than, open. If I'm going to lose here, I'm going to lose based on my own skill issue, not RNG. Now, we'll see how this plays out. I have a feeling I'm not going to like this one either. Or, fuck. Well, yeah, I think that achieves. I'm on three frames. Okay, yeah, this might be doing what I intended it to. If you would like to play this yourself, I will link down below a Ko-Fi link. Everything on my page is free. You can tip if you want, but it is not required in the slightest. I will also be posting some other things there that I'll probably make some other videos in the future. Do the YouTube pleasantries if you wish to, and thank you for stopping by. I will see you next time.